Hello, this is Harwin from SU Wolf. Today we're talking about beginning with the end in mind. Beginning with the end in mind is whenever you're starting in a selling situation or a conversation where you need to influence, or maybe it could be also something a letter, a sales letter. You should always have an end goal in mind that where you're going to steer this conversation. So if you're going on a call and if you don't have an end goal in the mind, so don't make that call because you should be having what is the end goal of your sales conversation or whatever pitch you're going to get into. So you might be thinking that this is kind of a manipulation, that you have some kind of agenda and those kind of things, but I think that if you are being paid as a salesperson to talk, or maybe if you are someone as an influencer who is has to influence something, you should be knowing what you're doing. So it's just about knowing what you're going to accomplish in the conversation. And manipulation, good or bad, it is up to the ethics that if you're selling something good or bad, it does not matter. It's just a tool here. So we're talking about tools here. It's not about how you'll be using this and what you'll be selling this. So I'm here just giving you the tools of what you can do. How you use it is up to you. So I was just talking to my rap friend who's a rapper the other day. So he was also telling me that the people that they write those raps and the songs. So they first write what is the end second line where it's going to be. Then they decide what is the first line, or maybe just they start with the end line in mind, and then they build up the raps to build the other lines. So that is how it is similar in other direct response also when you're writing a letter. So here the difference here is we always know what the end goal is, and that is a call to action where the person gives us the money. And the goal of the headlines. So while you're writing a letter here, sales letter or a ad here, so the goal of the headline is to get the person to read the first line, and the goal of the first line is to get the person to read the whole paragraph of the second line, and the goal of the first paragraph is to get the person to read the second paragraph, and so on. It goes on like that. So those are how it is written. This is standard techniques. They've been using it for a long while. It's not just that I've just made it up right now. They have been using it. It is not something that is manipulative. It's just being a professional and knowing what you're doing here. So don't have this in mind. And the other thing is, while you're talking, it should be for a beginner. It might come across that they might be perceived as they have some kind of agenda in mind. So that is something that you have to accept, that it's not an agenda, that you have something in mind, but you don't have to be too overt about it. That while you're having a conversation, have that conversation. Don't be always having those kind of things in the back of your mind, and you should also be willing to walk away from that. And you should not get too invested basically in that kind of things, but at the end of the day, you should be knowing what you want in a conversation. So maybe if I'm on a sales call to renew someone's membership, so I might be knowing at the back of my mind, yes, I am making the call so that the person says yes to meeting me, so that we can renew the conversation, renew their membership. But if the person does not want to, that is also fine. That will not affect me. So you should also have that in mind, that if it does not go through, then also you're fine with that. You don't take it up as an agenda that if does not go through, you will be stuck there forever and feel bad about it. So that's the start thing. It is useful when you start getting into conversations, or you start getting into phone calls without having something in mind. So if you're going out to socialize, that is fine. But if you are doing something as a skill, a trained negotiator or a professional salesperson, or whichever you are as a professional speaker, you should have what the end goal in mind is while you're speaking, and that's all. Make sure you have it, otherwise you might be dilly dallying about this or that or your stuff, and just getting the conversation from here to there. So you should be prepared before you go on, and that is the least that you can do as a respect for the person you're speaking with. You do your preparation before that. So that's all. Thank you for listening to SEO Wolf. Have a nice day.